Ever wonder if you're just too old or too late to start a YouTube channel? Well, I'm both those things. Hey, I'm Loomis, and I'm on a mission to figure out if I'm too gray, late, or just not funny enough to start a YouTube channel. And I'm going to document all my findings along the way. If you're thinking about starting out on your own, then subscribe and stay tuned to find out if we're too late to the party. They say life begins at 40. But no one told me it would begin with learning, researching, or fighting with the camera, lights, and a mic. This channel is built with the premise that I'm starting a YouTube channel from scratch. Let's find out together if we're successful in 2025. Honestly, what made me do this? I'm not even sure. Most guys my age are out buying sweet, sick toys. They're either buying a Harley to go on an open road trip or a boat to hit the water and just spend all day throwing out a rod. Or they're just buying a couple of pairs of quads and hitting a dirt track. Me? I chose to start a YouTube channel from scratch. And I'll tell you one thing, it's hard. From setting up my filming gear, figuring out what to talk about, or looking at myself on the camera and being totally embarrassed at some of my facial expressions. As you can tell, I'm not exactly part of the Gen Z era. I didn't actually grow up filming every moment. My first edit was literally on Windows Movie Maker back in 2005. Starting now means I have to fight the urge to compare myself to all the content creators that started at the age of 15. Then there's this voice, the voice in the back of my head that goes, every guy your age is starting a business or going on golf retreats, and here I am talking to a camera about how hard it was to edit this video and how many views I got last week. Then there's a blank screen, the blank screen of not knowing what to create or what to even talk about. Questioning if anybody even really cares about my story, my journey, my progress, any of that. And to make it even worse, I'm out here comparing myself to these younger creators that got it all figured out, like they cracked the life code, and I'm trying to figure out why my sound's missing and my mic's off. And don't get me started on the sound. Audio was a beast. I changed the USB cord in the microphone at least 8 times before I figured out the reason I have no sound is because the mic is off. And the lighting, oh boy, the lighting was impossible to come up with. Either I looked washed out like a pale ghost, or my background looked like it was a dark, foggy dungeon because I just couldn't see anything. Editing, oh boy, that was the most frustrating. Editing was impossible to figure out which program I was going to use, which software, so I can edit my programs. Then once I did figure that out, I had to go out and take a small loan just to cover the cost of the program. It's frustrating. It's humbling. And most of the time I wanted to quit. And then it was finished. I got to watch my first YouTube video all to myself. I watched it for hours on end. I even laughed every time I felt a part was funny. And then I uploaded it. And for 2 days, I stared at the screen. I stared at the screen looking at a big, fat 0 for the viewer count. And I don't know what I was thinking. I figured if I created a video, I uploaded, I get like 1 billion views, right? All the other content creators are able to do it. Why not me? What did I think was going to happen? I'm staring at a view count of 0 for 2 whole days. And I'm starting to think maybe I ain't got it. Maybe I'm just not built for content creation. And a lot of self-sabotaging thoughts start trickling in, and I need some motivation. So I turn to YouTube. I start scrolling through the thumbnails, start scrolling and scrolling, and I see in that moment, the way I felt, a thumbnail that portrayed exactly how I felt to the T. So I clicked on it. And a guy goes, hey, I'm also over 40. I'm glad I'm not the only one starting out on YouTube. And in that moment, that right there, that hit hard. And suddenly, it's not about view count. It's about the connection. So immediately, I grab a pen and a paper. I start jotting down 5 things that I think this content creator did good that I could use in my next video. And here are the 5 things. The first one is, his story matters. My age is my strength. It brings perspective that younger creators just don't have. Done is better than perfect. You'll cringe later, but you'll learn faster. Botch filming is your best friend, especially when life gets in the way. Learn just enough. Don't get stuck on tutorials. Don't spend drawn out hours trying to figure out how to make the edit perfect. Make something and move on. Community over view count. Reaching the right people is better than reaching millions of the wrong ones. Then the good news happened. I learned how to edit with Premiere Pro. That's a feat in its own. I made my first thumbnail. That is something special. Making thumbnails is not the easiest thing in the world. And I even learned how to film B-roll without shaking like I've been drinking 4 cups of coffee. Balancing home life, work, and now content creation? It ain't easy. I'll tell you right now, sometimes I feel guilty for having to tell my wife 1 more hour so I can edit and postponing that date, or telling the kids we have to go tomorrow on the adventure I promised them last weekend. Sometimes I feel like I'm not doing enough. I film at night, I record on the weekends, but most of the time I don't have any time for any of it. And that's okay. I give myself grace because it's a marathon, not a speed race. So am I too old for YouTube? Maybe, but I'm doing it anyways because, hey, I got something to say. My story needs to be told. And the only thing that matters isn't my age, it's getting started. And if you're out there thinking, am I too old for YouTube? Maybe I can't start a YouTube. Just do what I did. And don't forget to turn your mic on before you hit record. So now you ask, how am I implementing these 5 things into my next video? Well, you're watching it now. I took everything I liked about the guy, wrote it down, and started using it for myself. And guess what? Now I got a view. You. Thank you so much. Don't forget, if you like this content, definitely hit the like button. And subscribe for more chaos, more editing fails, more motivation, and more of just me being too old for YouTube.